restarted the live stream because it looks like the other live stream was buffering. So, and I saw people were commenting that the live stream was buffering. So I figure I restart it. And if it doesn't work this morning, no big deal. I'll just not do the live stream today and then just do the live stream maybe tomorrow. No worries. No worries if that happens. That's, I don't know how far it got to my story about the American. He's an American citizen, 58 years old. His name's Roy, lives in Calibo. He got into an accident in Ballete, where James and Karen's adventure, their area there in Ballete, because they were doing road construction on the main highway, and it was raining last night. It was dark last night. Good thing the gentleman, he had to wear a helmet. He got hurt. He took a spill on his motorbike. He's got like multiple wounds and on his back too. But they got him to the provincial hospital. So hopefully everything's okay. Didn't sound like it was like critical or anything like that. But I'll update tomorrow. I'll follow up on that story. All right, HD, I'm back. Yeah, I had to restart it because I noticed it was buffering. That happens here. With our internet when it's raining. When it's raining, it's like, especially when it's like a downpour, our internet like slows down. I don't know if there's a connection to that, whether internet is affected by rain, but it happens. It happens here. One thing nice when it rains though is like the temperatures are cooler. It's not as hot. Dazzle, last night we slept, we didn't even need to use the AC last night, so that's nice, we can just open our windows, we have screen on our windows, and you can let the nice breeze, and then when it starts raining, you got that nice breeze going, and then you can hear like the raindrop on the metal roof. That puts me to better sleep, I'll kind of like wake up a little bit like that, and oh man, that's like relaxing for me. Back. All right. Fill in for real. I think this is Kwatong. I just can't remember like sometimes some of the handles. We hear you loud and clear from California. All right, from California. Greetings and salutations, HD. There he is. All right, O.B. Olson, Aliyah, and Isaiah from Columbia, South Carolina. That's what I figure. I restart the live stream. The other one got killed. I'll just, that story I was telling about last night about the American citizen from Calibo. He got in an accident in Ballete. Just, it's like, to me, it's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to ride at night here. Like me, I avoid driving our car, Bumblebee, at nighttime here at all costs. It has to be really like, I had no choice. We might have gotten stuck in Calibo. At least the road from Calibo to Numancia is only like 3 miles. And I know the streets pretty well. I know the road to, prone accident area, like the intersection, the 4-way intersection, the curve by Toyota Aklan. There's areas that are just like accident prone because people go too fast, and then at nighttime here, it's the thing here in the province, and at nighttime, especially on like a Friday night, Saturday night, there's a lot of drinking going on. There's a lot of drinking going on here. Even in Calibo, like the food parks there, if you go to like Ati-Atian food parks, there's food parks by Pastrana Park. Food parks are like, they have these, they're stalls, but they're like there every night, especially Friday night and Saturday night. And they'll have like these, XP rotisseries, one of them, my friend Pretz, he's got a stall. They serve like rotisserie chicken, rotisserie sandwiches. They'll have burger places. They'll have a barbecue, and then they'll have tables and chairs, benches, and you just sit there, eat food, drink beer, and then there's a live entertainment. That's very popular now in Calibo. There's several of them. Food parks is what they're called. So yeah, it's like you're drinking beer, drinking, they start like at usually 7, happy hour, 7, 8 p.m. By midnight, it's a lot of alcohol being drank, and a lot of these guys on the motorbike, they get on the motorbike after drinking. That's, it's not like in the U.S. Like there's a push in the U.S. like no drinking driving. No, if you get caught drinking and driving in the U.S., you get hammered, right? You might spend some jail time, high fine. Here in the Philippines, like here in our province anyway, people get in accidents all the time. They're drunk on a motorbike, and people laugh at it. It's like, oh, that crazy guy, na hilong. Hilong is like drunk. Another hilong, it's like, I was like, dang, man. They just don't take it that serious, I guess it's just a Filipino thing, how happy-go-lucky. Filipinos are happy-go-lucky. To them, a lot of your jeepney drivers, a lot of your farmers, fishermen, the highlight of most people's day, it's like that drinking at night, karaoke, karaoke somewhere. It doesn't have to be in a club. It doesn't have to be in a restaurant. It doesn't have to be in a food park. A lot of times it could be just somebody's yard. They'll just pop the karaoke, start drinking beer. And unfortunately, a lot of people ride their motorbikes after they drink. It's not like in the U.S. The culture in the U.S., man. It's strictly people are pushing. Hey, I need to take your keys. Yeah, you can't drive. Here it's almost like, I can still do it. And I can still ride my bike. It's like nobody's gonna like, hey, before a party starts, I'm getting everybody's keys. Everybody that's drinking, hand me your keys. Nobody's driving out of here. Here it's just not. It doesn't work like that. It's common here in the province, unfortunately, that people drink and get on their motorbikes here. That's why at nighttime I just try to stay home. I'm in bed by 8 p.m. because a lot of not good things happen here at nighttime. So it's safe to like stay home. Do all your activities during the day, and then by nighttime just stay home. Greetings and salutations, HD. All right. Panay, Pasi. All right, Fortune, my good friend in Bacoor, Cavite. I think I'm trying to remember if Fortune is in the office today or is at work from home. I remember you mentioning it yesterday, Fortune. In love, I love. Lani Love said hi. Hey, Lani Love. All right. Good morning. Glad you're back online, my brother. Oh, thanks for. I'm glad I just closed that other live stream because I think I lost the connection. I saw it buffering. It did that buffering thing, so I figure. Hey, good morning. There he is. There's James, my good friend James and Karen. James and Karen Adventures. Good morning, everyone. James, I'm sure you know by now. They had that accident. An American guy, 58 years old, from Calibo, got into an accident there in Ballete, and they were saying that area where he had the accident. There's been a few accidents in that area. And I've driven through that. I mean, when you drive here, like when I drive from here, Mansha to like Iloilo City, you go through like not just Ballete, like even Altabas and even in Capiz, there's just a lot of construction on the road, like that's going on here. A road expansion, a lot of it's road widening is what they call it. What they do is like, if it's a 2-lane road, one this way, they'll add it. They'll make it to 4 lanes. So a lot of that's going on in our province. They're widening like the highways here because I guess just, for commerce, improving, improving our province as far as traveling in our province. But accidents are common. Even me, man, I remember when I was driving back from Iloilo the last time with my friends Steve and Nova from Las Vegas. They were in the car with me. And me, I'm always focused on the road. I'm a very defensive driver. I drive slow. I pay attention. I don't even play my music when I'm riding the road because I want to be focused on the road. And that happened. One time and I don't go more than 60 kph, kilometers per hour, 60 on the highway here. That's how fast I don't go faster than that. 39 miles an hour is how fast I go on the highway here. I'm not flying 80 or 100 kph. I'm just taking my time because I'm never in a rush. I want to get point A, point B safely. And even that, I'm going slow. I remember I was past like area in Capiz, and all of a sudden, it's like no signage or anything. All of a sudden, I saw the road in front of me dug down, like a foot down. They dug it. So I had to like kind of like veer to the right and, to like avoid it, or else I would have fell like a foot. No signage, no signage anywhere. Good thing it was daytime. Good thing it was daytime, because if it was nighttime, there was no way. That's why I don't drive. I don't drive at nighttime, especially if it rains. That's another element added. The gentleman that got in an accident, he was wearing a rain poncho. A good thing he had his helmet. And good thing somebody stopped. That's one thing. If you fall on your bike or you're on the road, people will help you. People will, are quick to like help. And they took him to the provincial hospital in Calibo. But at nighttime, to me, it's just too risky. Too risky to nighttime. That's why I was mentioning, James, when you guys attended Dazzle's party, I made sure you guys weren't driving home that night, because I didn't want you guys like after karaoke, tired, it's nighttime, and that time it could have rained. I didn't want you guys like driving home. It's like, I avoid driving here at night. Just too dangerous, in my opinion. Fresh, aloha, aloha, brother. Good morning, aloha, aloha. I love the aloha, man. My best friend in Hawaii, that's how he always greets me. Aloha, brother. He always, and it's brother. The BRADDAH, brother. Ruben also greets me like, hey, brother. It's that pigeon, the pigeon. Ronnie, we're back. All right, Ronnie, we're back. What are the details of the accident? Oh yeah, details, James. Like I said, he's an American citizen, 58 years old. His name's Roy. I actually had to read it in the first article I read. I was proud. I was showing Mama, because I was like, it was in Aklanon. They were reporting in Aklanon, and I was reading it in Aklanon. I was like proud. I said, I understood, even though I guess I've been here 14 years now, even in Aklanon, I can understand it. Right here, I'm gonna read it to you in Aklanon. And when I read in Aklanon, I was like, "Oh, I understood it. It says here, sangka foreigner nga rider ru na aksidente sa barangay poblasyon sa Banwa it Ballete makaron nga gabii last night. I know gabii is like last night. Base sa impormasyon nga natipon it K5 News Team uwa it nakabutang nga signage. What that means is, according to the news people, there was no signage of like the construction. Sa lugar agkapin sa 10 iyon ron nga iontad nga aksidente. So basically, like in the area, they didn't have any signage where he got in the accident. Bangud kara lastro sa likod rong naangkon ko 58 anyos nga biktima nga presenting naga-istar sa Calibo. That's where I figured it was a 58 years old. I wasn't sure yet whether it's a U.S. citizen or not, but I found another article, and in this article is in Tagalog, so I could understand this one better. It says here, dahil sa kawalan ng signage sa ginawang kalsada, motorista sumemplang. Kinilala ang rider na si alias, like Roy, 58 anyos, isang American citizen at residente ng Andagaw, Calibo. So, that's how I was like proud. I was telling Mom, I could understand Aklanon. I figured out that, about the accident in the local language. But he made it to the hospital, James. Looks like he's okay. Just bumps and bruises. He did suffer like a laceration or something, a wound on the back. But they took him to provincial hospital. So I'll follow up today. I'm sure they'll report on him again today. But he was wearing a helmet. Thank goodness he was wearing a helmet. That's the other thing. It's like if he wasn't wearing a helmet, that would have not been pretty. We are still sweating and melting in Florida, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, looks like the sun is coming up here and it's warming up fast. That's the thing. Earlier, I can feel a cool breeze. Now I'm starting to sweat here. I'm starting to sweat. Now, well, drinking coffee doesn't help too, kind of like warms me up. How's his situation? So far, it's not, it doesn't look serious, because They were able to transport him to the provincial hospital from Ballete, Poblacion Ballete, to the provincial hospital. I would say maybe 25 minutes. So not very far. They were able to take him there. So at least he wasn't reported as a casualty. Like at least that's the thing. Usually they'll tell right away of accidents here. Immediately usually. And here in the Philippines, man, when there's an accident, when they report it, somebody died in an accident. I mean, they show photos and everything, man. Sometimes it's like graphic, really graphic. I mean, they put that sensitive, don't open this if you're sensitive kind of thing on Facebook. But man, they show people like on the ground, like bleeding. I'm like, ooh, man. I guess they don't, or they're not strict as far as like things like that here. But I'll follow up. I'll follow up Fortune today. I'm sure I read the article this morning, so I'm sure they'll report on him some more today. But you just gotta be careful here in the province. It's like I said, a nighttime motorcycle riding. I would not recommend it, especially when it's raining. A lot of the national highway here, the roads here are dark. Some are light, some have lights, but not all. Imagine the combination of rain, dark, slippery, and then people riding motorbikes without lights, tricycle with lights, animals crossing the road on the highway, dogs, goats, whatever. There's just too many things that can go wrong. Too many things can go wrong. And then you add construction that doesn't have any signage, I mean, there's just too many things to worry about here. Fresh aloha. I'm in the process of buying property in Texas, so I can go back and forth to the Philippines and US during my retirement. Philippines is beautiful, but I think oh yes, Fresh. I've always said, many times I've said, the ideal situation for me, for Americans that want to retire in the Philippines, is do half and half. 6 months in the US, 6 months in the Philippines. Of course, not everybody can afford that. Of course, not everybody has got that kind of money, because tickets, flying, maintaining two households, But I know I have friends that do that. I have like subscribers that's what they do. They're kind of like snowbirds, right? They're in the US, in their area. When it starts snowing in their area, I guess instead of going to Arizona or instead of going to Florida, they're now coming to the Philippines for their they call it the snowbirds. They're coming here doing their 6 months here, because here in the Philippines, pretty much it doesn't matter from January to December. You get more rain. It's wet during July to like November, but pretty much the whole year. We don't have snow. We don't have cold weather. And then if you pick the right area here in the Philippines, like I think Western Visayas is ideal. Panay Island, Negros Island, where Bacolod is, Dumaguete City. We don't get hit by typhoons here. There's areas that flood, but we're not like a Bicol region or Cagayan or Ilocos Norte or Samar or Leyte, where they just get hammered all the time with the typhoons in those areas. Here, we'll get rain, but it's actually nice, when we get rain here. Like yesterday, we were hanging out with our friend from Atlanta. We picked him up after the live stream yesterday. Actually, we picked him up, and I told him I just wanted to show him around. He's been here he stayed a week, I think a week in Iloilo City. He's been here more than a week now. He extended. So I think he's liking Calibo. He extended. He's staying at a different hotel now. When he first landed, he was staying at GQ Hotel, the nice hotel that I've filmed before by Pastrana Park. Now he found a cheaper hotel, because a smaller room, cheaper hotel, a Hotel Simone. I haven't filmed that hotel. I might if since he's staying there now. Hotel Simone, because it was cheaper. He's telling me Hotel Simone, and I went to his room, hot water, basic room, basic double bed, not the big. They got hot water, cold water outside the room in those dispensers where you can get 900 pesos. 900 pesos a night, so I'm like, dang, that's a bargain. Like, man, that's like, $16 a night. And it's a nice building, new building, 3-story building. It's on the second floor. I think he's there for another 10 days. I think he booked it. And now he's considering La Casa Española. So he's thinking of like, keep staying here because he's about my age. You know, he's not yet collecting Social Security. But like a lot of people I'm meeting now, you know, he's at that age where he's single. He's single now. He's got, you know, at that age where he can, you know, he's got 401k, you know, 59, you can, I guess, withdraw money from that. And he's got savings. So he's close enough to like Social Security where he's thinking that he don't want to go back to the US anymore and work. Continue work. You know, he's have enough savings. And my friend Robbie's in the same situation. Robbie's like my age. He's also 59. He came here 2.5 years ago because he was thinking the same thing. You know, it's affordable enough here if you have good savings and good investment, like I know Robbie does, where he's just kind of funding his retirement until he hits 62 and collects Social Security. So those people I think will make it, and I think you know, because they're living, you know, a good budget. They're not extravagant. They're finding places like here in the province to live on a budget. And if you're doing that before you get your Social Security, once you get your Social Security, to me that's like, man, that'll be like, then you really got it made, right? If you can make it without Social Security and then you hit 62. You know, you get that, you know, $2,000 a month or whatever. You're good to go. You're good to go here. And I think I'm seeing more of that. I'm seeing more of that, that people are just realizing they don't want to wait 62. They don't want to wait 65. They don't want to wait 67 because, like, you know, if you wait that long, and I've said this before, it just feels like you don't have much left after that if you wait that long. I know, you know, some people, it's, you know, not by choice. They can't wait, you know, they don't have no choice. They have to work. They have, you know, and I know there's people in that situation, but I'm seeing more and more people that, you know, they're single, they don't have a family, they don't have a wife or kids to support anymore, and they're solo, and they're figuring it out that, hey, man, I can retire early. You know, I can start my retirement early, fund the retirement with my own money, my savings, 401k, investments, whatever. Just kind of like thread water until you get Social Security. Then you're already here. You're already established. You know, and I think that's what my friend from Atlanta. I can tell he's on the same boat. You know, he's on that same situation because, you know, I just noticed, like, hanging out with him yesterday, Dazzle and I hanged out with him the whole day. First, we went to the capital area. The capital area is where the governor sits. We went there because the immigration office is there. I just wanted to double check because I knew I haven't been to that immigration office for 4 or 5 months now. Was the last time I took a friend there. And then, so I took them. We just checked because he's only been in the Philippines like 2 weeks. My friend from Atlanta, so he still got a couple of weeks to renew, and he was actually thinking of renewing it online. And you can do that. You can renew your first extension when you land in the Philippines. You get 29 days free, no charge. Your first extension, your first 1 month extension, you can do it online. I verified that with the guy yesterday at the immigration office. The problem is the website where you where you apply online, it doesn't always go through. You know, typical of like websites here in the Philippines. It's like there's always issues. Like you fill out all the form, you fill out all your information, submit, and it'll go error. So that's the thing, you know. It's like, if it goes through, it goes through. You're good to go, right? But if it doesn't go through, you have no choice. At least now, my friend from Atlanta, he knows. You know, I took him there. We met the gentleman, and there was no line. 0 people at the immigration office yesterday in Calibo. So no long lines or anything like that. So at least he knows. He knows where it's at. You know, I showed him the office. And then what else? Oh, and then we took a ride. We were just gonna take him to Loola's fish farms just to show him the fish farm. And on the way there, we saw, you know, the big warehouse here, the big like a Home Depot. It's called Wilcon Depot. Gigantic like hardware store here in Numancia. Is it Numancia or Makato? No, it's in Makato. It's in the border of our town in Makato, but in Makato, Aklan, near the fish farm, near Loola's fish farm. I mean, this place is amazing. I like taking people there because when you guys come here, I like taking people to Wilcon Depot because even me, I'm shocked of the stuff that's in there. I've done a video before on Wilcon Depot. I can post it on the community. That way, if you guys want to see that video. But man, it's just like a lot of American goods there, Black and Deck, everything, tools, furniture, appliances, hot water heater, AC. I mean, everything. A lot of goods there from America. Brands that Westinghouse, Black and Decker. What else? That grill, the Charbroil. I mean, you'll recognize a lot of the products there. A little pricey now, a little pricey, because American goods, they're a little bit pricey here in the Philippines because there's what's that, a duty tax on American goods here. American goods are always I would say about 20% higher here, like for electronics, for anything come from America, because there's that duty tax here. I think 17% was the last time I checked on, but so around 20% shipping and duty tax. That's always been here. That's always been here. That's why even at SNR, when you go to SNR, the minute you'll notice, ooh, that's more expensive than at Costco in the US, because of the duty tax and the shipping, it's gonna cost more here at SNR, the Filipino Costco. Beeline is an education thing too. Yes, Beeline, right? With safety and all that, with driving here in the Philippines. Unfortunately, Beeline, you've been here, man. It's like I think it's a hopeless case. It's a hopeless case, there's just not enough, driving safety, driving classes, driving school. It's mandatory now if you're a new driver to the Philippines. If you've never owned a license, like Dazzle, last year, Dazzle had to go through driving school. Actual driving school, sitting in the classroom, actual person teaching her how to drive. So many hours. Driving before she can get a license. That is mandatory now for new drivers. But unfortunately, that's a small percentage of drivers that's out on the road, right? The new drivers. It's mostly like these guys, older guys, 50, 60, 70s on the road that, they've never had driving school in their life. They just got a license. They just got a license here. The tricycle drivers, sometimes I look at the tricycle drivers, some of the maneuvers they do, they'll be on the main highway here, make a U-turn, right? No signal, nothing, U-turn. Or stop, pick up a passenger, hook, like without any, just the things that the tricycle drivers here do, makes you wonder, Yeah, I know they never got any kind of driver's ed, never attended any driver's education. There's a meme here. There's always a joke here. They do require it's called like a driving seminar. Usually it's a full day. They make people do a driving seminar, an actual sit-down class, driving seminar. But a lot of times, the people that get the certificate attended a driving seminar, that even the next day they're doing stuff on the road. Like there's a popular meme here where the tricycle rider, on a tricycle, he's like on the middle. Like there's two lanes, right? Two lanes going this way. And instead of being in the slow lane or the fast lane, the tricycle rider is like right in the middle, occupying two lanes. And the meme here in the Philippines is maybe he just attended half-day seminar. He just attended half-day because, he didn't complete the seminar. He didn't get the memo. He didn't get the memo as far as how to drive on the road. To all, Daniel, all right, Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Daniel. Yes, yes, Beeline Troop, the police, they got that in the U.S. too, man. In America, they don't play with drunk drivers. They got breathalyzer tests. They make you walk the line, like like do this and walk the line. I mean, you can't fool the police. Yeah, if you're drunk and they catch you on the road, man, serious, serious penalties. Here in the province, I have never seen a breathalyzer. The two things I've never seen here, Beeline, I have never seen a breathalyzer test, and I've never seen a speed gun. I've never seen that here in our, I have never, and that's so common, right? I'm sure it's common where you're from, Beeline, in the U.S. I mean, I remember on my Mustang, I had that radar detector where I start beeping if I'm getting radared. You got that in your car, but here you don't even have to get that, because I have never seen a speed gun here. I have seen, police like a highway, on a motorbike, with like a they got the light going, and then like a trooper. It looks like a trooper. I have seen those. Very few, very few, very few in Aklan province, but I have seen those. But I've never seen a breathalyzer test here. I've never seen a speed gun here to catch people speeding. Office today. All right, Fortune. I couldn't remember, Fortune, whether you're in the office or work from home today. Then leave 4 p.m. for QC. All right, pick up the daughter. And then weekend. All right. TGIF, Fortune. Always fun. I know Leanne was excited to go to school this morning when I dropped her off. She knows it's her TGIF. She got the weekend. It helps to have a second screen to monitor the quality of the live. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I could do that on my other phone. A good suggestion there, man. I was like, dang, yeah, I didn't even think. Thank you, HD. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. See, HD always helping the brother out, man. So I can always put it here. I can put it here on my my other phone. And this phone was given to me too. It's like the phone I'm using there is an iPhone 10. My friend from Hawaii gave it to me. And then this was given to me by Vincent. Vincent was just here in the Philippines. It's not a new phone, but for me, it's awesome. So kind of my friend Vincent from Northern California that gave me this. So I can watch. And I didn't even think about that. See, I can see here now. I can watch my live, man. Right there, HD. I can watch my live. Hey, thank you, HD, man. That's why I need you, HD, man. I need you. You got all the good advice, man. You got all the good advice. Now I can monitor it. Here on the side if my live stream is still going or not. Thank you, HD. Good to tune in again, brother. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to get go. Oh, no worries, Ronnie. No worries. Thank you so much for joining the live stream, Ronnie. All right. Just like looking at because the glare here is like I can't. All right. See you on the next live stream, Ronnie. See you on the next live stream. Greetings, Romania. Wow. I don't think I've seen Romania in our live stream before. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Kaylin. Wow, South Africa. Wow, I'm getting all international today, man. Thank you so much. Andile. Thank you so much. Wow. Fastest I've driven on a car. Kilometers in Arizona. I've never driven that fast. Not even on my Mustang. I don't remember going. I have gotten my Mustang, on a stretch road in Arizona, like you said, where there's not traffic. I've gotten it over 100 miles per hour on my Mustang, but even that when I was driving that, I was like, I better slow down. I better slow down because next thing you know, you get that woo, you get that cop. You get that cop from nowhere. In Arizona, I remember cops are good at hiding. They're good at hiding. They hide behind the signage, underneath the bridge. It's like, they know where to hide, with their speed gun. They know where to hide. But I had that radar on my car, would warn me. I was like, slow. The minute I hear that, I slow down on my car. I don't think I've ever gotten it high to 220. That's pretty high, man. Even kilometers, that's pretty high, man. Hello from Massachusetts. All right, Dennis. Thank you, man. I have friends, that live in Massachusetts, that area, Vermont. It's like the northeast of the United States. My friend Leo, of course, he lives in Boston. He's from Boston. And then my friend, the other, we were all stationed at George Air Force Base in California when we were all young. Leo was 18, I was 17, my first duty assignment. Bob was the other one. Bob Larkowski. He lives in the Northeast too. He's retired now too. Retired from the United States Air Force. He retired as a major. He was enlisted like me, then he became an officer, then he retired as a major. It was over a decade ago. Oh, all right. Well, you still got it fast. I'm sure you remember the feeling, HD, like I do. I remember, man, sometimes I remember that feeling driving my Mustang. Because the Mustang, I like it when I drove it because like when you pump the gas on the Mustang, you hear that sound like, you hear that sound, I don't get that sound in my Wego. My Wego is like 3 cylinders, like the slowest car I've ever owned. But it's all good. I'm retired now. I don't have to like go anywhere fast. Well done, Ginno. Sound like it's Hiligaynon. Oh, Hiligaynon. All right. I thought it was Aklanon, man. I thought. Congratulations on Aklanon, Tanya. All right. Well. I subscribe on Facebook to like that news, KMFM5 or something like that. And they always report in like the Aklanon or Hiligaynon. So when I listen to that news, even live reporting, I'm listening to it. I'm trying to like, there's words that I pick up and then I can kind of put together. And same thing when I was going to school with my classmates at STI College Calibo. Everybody spoke like their language, like Hiligaynon, Aklanon, people from Antique, Kiniray. I think Kiniray is what so I'm hearing all these languages. So I'm sitting there. When you're hearing it day to day for 4 years, I'm hearing my classmates. I start picking it up, what they're talking about, At least I'm understanding what they, I can go to the market now, even public market, and when I hear people speaking the dialect that I don't know, I know what they're saying, like tagpila, how much, like they'll put apulo means 10, I could, I'm okay now, right? It's like I know enough, like they can't sell me out. Of course I know all the bad words. If they say the bad word, I'm like, what? He said a bad word. It's like that's the first thing people teach you is that like the bad words. When fitness meets faith. Hey, Ria, my good friend in Tennessee. Hello, Ria. Good morning, Ginno. Hope you're ready to seize the day. Always ready to seize the day. Always happy to like wake up in the morning, see that sunrise. Even though today it's like cloudy, I'm still happy. Like it's like, and then I love it. Like mom is kind of like my coffee buddy, kind of like in the morning. She prepares. I used to prepare Leanna's lunch for school. Now mom took over that duty. It's like I told her I could still do it, but she likes that's her baby too. Leanna's her baby, so she likes spoiling Leanna. So me and her, we always like the minute I come down the stairs in the morning, we're always like chit-chatting, then get Leanna ready for school. That's why, it's like, I just like that dynamic. I like the dynamic of her family now. It's like with Leanna, with mom, with Dazzle. I mean, we're just happy all the time because it's like, what more can we ask? We all take care of each other. We all love each other. For me, it's like, it's such a blessing to wake up to that every day. And then when we wake up Leanna, we're teasing her about going to school. And then it's just fun. It's just fun. I like the vibe every day. It's like, I'm just blessed. I know I'm blessed every time I wake up in the morning. Do you have any exciting plans lined up today? Today, no exciting, nothing exciting because yesterday, Dazzle and I, it was a busy day because I did the live stream yesterday. And then after the live stream, we picked up our friend from Atlanta, took him everywhere, took him to the immigration, took him to Wilcon Depot, and then we took him to Loola's Fish Farm. We were gonna eat lunch there at Loola's, But we forgot my friend doesn't eat pork, and they don't have a lot of stuff there. And he's careful, and I don't blame him. I told him, yeah, that's good that you're careful because he's only been here in the Philippines 2 weeks. So he hasn't really ventured out with like eating the carinderia food, really careful drinking the water. And that's good because, the last thing you want to happen to you is like to have any stomach issues and stuff like that. So we were at the Loola's fish farm. I almost was thinking Dazzle would go fishing because we were there because my friend and I, we could just sat there, we could talk. But it started downpouring. It was like around 12:30 p.m., close to 1 p.m. It was downpouring. It was like for an hour, like torrential rain. I mean, but it was so nice because we're in like this hut covered around with trees and we could see the water, like the ponds. And we were just sitting there. We ordered like buko. We ordered like 3 fresh coconut, and they chop it, put a straw. And we were just all hydrating with like coconut water, fresh coconut water. And then Dazzle and I, we ordered, each ordered lumpia. We were eating lumpia, but my friend, he didn't eat there. We would just chill there. We chilled there at the Loola's fish farm for a couple of hours, just talking. Our friend for Alana, he had a lot of questions for me, and and I like doing that. It's like when you guys come here, I know JP, Edgar, Daniel. That's what we'll do. We'll hang out and we'll go to places here. We'll just hang out and talk. Because I know my friend he's kind of like extracting all like information from me, and I don't mind sharing. That's why I do the live stream. That's why I do our videos. I want to share the information. Ask me questions. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I don't have the answer, I'll research. I'll find the answer. It's like I like doing that. I like to me it's like. It's a shame if you got all this knowledge. I've been here 14 years. I've been retired 14 years here. It'd be a shame if I can't share it with people and at least in some way guide people or some way assist people. Because, there's a lot of questions. When you move here to the Philippines, that's a huge move. You can watch all the videos, you can chat GPT, Google, and all that, but until you get here, until you be like boots on the ground here, it's a different experience. Once you get here, it's a different experience. It's like my friend from Atlanta, he was telling me how, I had advised this before. I've always said it. Once you get here, your life is gonna slow down tremendously, and he's loving it. He's loving it. He was telling me yesterday how, now it's like he loves like waking up late in the morning. It's like, who wouldn't love that? Right? If you're used to like waking at 6 in the morning to get ready for work, to be at work at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to be at work. Now all of a sudden you're like sleeping in till 9, sleeping in till 10. I mean, he said he hasn't done that in many, many years. Usually you can sleep in on the weekend, maybe Saturday, but a lot of times you got all kinds of stuff you got to do. When you're working Monday to Friday, your weekend is usually packed with stuff for you to do, right? Grocery shopping, washing the car, if you have activities like if you belong to a bowling league or there's stuff that you do like on the weekend that your weekend just flies like that. You're going like, I remember that feeling where, dang, it's already Monday morning again. It's like, what happened to the weekend? What happened to the weekend? But now, my friend, he's like, he loves not having a schedule, he was telling me that yesterday. He loves like, he's forgetting what day it is. He's forgetting that it's a Wednesday, it's a Thursday, and that's the retired life. To me, that's what retired life is supposed to be. Not being on a schedule, owning your time. And if it means like sleeping in, doing nothing, like for today, we don't have any plans. I don't know when Dazzle wakes up at 10 what she wants to do. To me, that's what retirement's all about. Not having a schedule. Just like go with the flow. When she wakes up, she'll think of something like, let's eat lunch here, or let's do this. I want to go fishing today, kind of thing. To me, that's what retirement's all about. Hi, all right, MD, that's a doctor, right? MD, MD doctor, how are you? I'm doing good. Dennis said hi, hello. Tim Arnett from Florida, all right, Tim. Many people on the live stream here all the time from Florida. Balik guy, friend John, Daniel, a lot of people here from Florida. Where is your country? MD, this is the Philippines. The Philippines in Southeast Asia. Lowell, kumusta? Mabuti ako, Lowell. All right, Lowell, I got your number. Lowell messaged me on WhatsApp. I got him. We're connected on WhatsApp. I'll message you, Lowell, after this live stream. I'll message you because I know you wanted to do a one-on-one. We can do a one-on-one talk. That way I can assess your situation. We'll do that after the live stream here. So right around after 9:30, I'll send you a message. Make sure you're okay to do a one-on-one call. One-on-one call. All right, Lowell, my friend in Oregon. God bless. God bless, Lowell. If you see a bunch of E that makes it hard to pronounce though. Oh, I know, right? That's what I get confused with that HD when I'm like, the E, it's like the spelling, in Tagalog, I'm like, how do you say that? It's like, I know it stands for another letter, but that confuses me, it's like, I know exactly what you mean, HD. Making my last payment on largest unit storage next week. All right, the last payment. All right, Daniel. You are paring your stuff down. Congratulations. Good job, Daniel. Was able to sell. Man, that's amazing. 50%? You got rid of 50% of your stuff? That is awesome, man. That's awesome. Good to hear, Daniel. You're on your way, brother. 50%. That's a lot of stuff you got rid of, man. And I know, I understand, brother. I know how that is. In the military, I was the same way, man. I was the same way. I moved 7 times in 20 years when I was in the military. And most military people will tell you this. When we move, they box all your stuff. And then you move. Sometimes, man, I have boxes that I never open and then move again. I'm moving one box from one duty station to the other without even opening it. I was like, books, things like that, books, collections, So I understand. It's easy to like accumulate so much stuff, like for us, when I went to Korea, I would buy stuff, of course, souvenirs from Korea, even my military memorabilia, plaques that we get in the military about when I was in Korea, when I was in Japan, when I was in Angeles City, shadow boxes. I mean, we just accumulate so much stuff in the military. But for me, I was just like, when it was time for me to retire to the Philippines, I was willing to let go of all of it. Because to me, my military career, I do not need a piece of memorabilia to remember that. That's right here. That's in my heart, in my mind. It's like my military comrades, my buddies in the militaries. That's not like a material thing that I have. I don't need like a memento of my brotherhood, my friendships. It's like a simple video call when I see my brother Leo or I see my brother David, it's like, hey, what's up, brother? It's like we're all happy. To me, that's what's more important than like memorabilia. The construction zones are extremely dangerous, even more than the drunks, right, James? And the construction zones, James is so right there because the construction zones, it's not the same in the US. I remember if they have a construction zone in the US, they got like reflective stuff, lights, even like blinking lights, slow down, blinking lights, a construction ahead, detour, they got signs, they got all that stuff, Here, you just don't have it, man. And I'm sure James will tell you this. He has seen here where some people, when they break down, like the big semi trucks, right? They get a flat tire or they break down on the main highway. They'll park it, right? They'll park like on the side right there. Usually you're required by law here in the Philippines to put like a reflective, like a triangle on the road, warning people that you got your big truck blocking the road there, right? Sometimes here, man, they don't have it. You know what the big trucks will do? They'll take a branch, like a branch with leaves on it. They'll put it like on the road. They'll somehow like stick it on the dirt or put rocks around it. and their warning device is like a small tree with leaves on it. I'm like, dang, how, when I first saw that, I was like, what is that? I told Dazzle, what is that? And then we figure it out, after seeing it multiple times. Oh, that's their warning device, or the side of the truck, they'll put like leaves on it, like a branch and leaves. That's their warning device, I mean, you can see that during the day, but like at nighttime, you're not going to see that, right? How are you going to see like branches and leaves? It's not reflective. They got no lights. And accidents have happened where people run up on them, because they're on the highway. People here, another thing that people do here on the highway is, in the U.S., everything you have, when you pass somebody, you always pass to the left, right? In the U.S., that's like, I mean, we're trained, right? You never pass on the right, right? You never pass on the right in the U.S. Everything with the slow lane, you get on you pass on the left. That's like, they teach you that in driving school. Never pass on the right. Of course, they pass on the right here. It's like they pass on the left, they pass on the right, they pass on the shoulder. So there's just, and then if you pass on the right on the shoulder, and then there's a truck parked there, that's the accident waiting to happen, and they'll pass here on the curve. Blind curves here, they'll pass here. Even like the big Ceres buses, the yellow buses, the blue buses, on a blind corner up in the mountain, they'll pass. I've been driving my car here many times, and Dazzle can vouch for it. And I'm like looking straight at the bus coming at me. I'm on my lane, going slow, and I have to like ditch to the right and avoid them, because that's how they roll, man. I mean, you can't like, what can you do? They're big, the big Ceres buses, they're like 20 times the size of my car. I got no chance. I got no chance against them. And then the drunks, of course, it's like that's just like, Filipinos, it's like drinking in the province anyway. I know they're stricter when you're in the city here in the Philippines, but in the province, it's, one of the times where I'm really careful not to drive or not to go out at night here in Numancia when we have fiesta. There's here in our town of Numancia, there's over a dozen barangays, different barangays, and each of the barangays will have their fiesta. Like us, our barangay here is Huyao Huyao. So pretty much every single month, like from January to December, one place in our little town here has a fiesta. The big one, of course, is on our poblacion, like the main plaza, when we have a fiesta in the main plaza. But every time there's fiesta, what that means is like there's a lot of drunks, a lot of drinking going on fiesta. I mean, during fiesta, usually it's on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. For fiesta, Friday night, usually from Friday night to like Sunday night, two days. It's like drinking daytime, nighttime, nonstop for 2 days. So you can imagine. And people get on their motorbikes. Unfortunately, they get on their motorbikes during fiesta. You see accidents on the main road here, on the main highway all the time during fiesta time. I mean, the cops, they try to like stop it. There's more checkpoints. There's more, there's more cops like in uniform, like roaming around, because they know to protect people from the fiesta, protect people from the drunks. But it's just the volume that's of drinking that happens during fiesta. I can understand it also, Ginno, but I am more versed on Hiligaynon and Kiniray. Yeah, all right. I know a little bit of Kiniray because a few of our classmates, when we were going to college, Eva, we had a few classmates from Antique. So I've heard Kiniray also. I can understand words. In Kiniray. Karen is well versed in Aklanon. Yes, I know. Like, that's one thing nice about our spouses. Like Karen, even Kat. They all they're familiar with the dialects. They all, like, when we get together, Dazzle, Karen, Kat. They all speak. They all like talk their dialect. They understand. And then you get that bond anyway, right? HD, when you meet somebody that speaks your dialect, you have a special bond. It's the same like when I'm in Angeles City, when I see the Kapampangan, or if I'm in Ilocos, the Ilocanos. There's a certain bond when you speak the same dialect. You feel, I can tell it from the people. They're like they can kid around more, they can joke around more. They're more comfortable. Speaking their own dialect. Grats, Daniels. Also, grats, Daniel. We are about to put stuff into storage for our oldest son. We're still working on getting rid of our stuff. Thank goodness for balikbayan boxes. LOL. I know, right? At least, you got a method. You got a method, Olsen. It's like balikbayan box, ship it to the Philippines. Ship it to the Philippines. We'll worry about it when we get to the Philippines, right? Yeah. And here in the Philippines, it's like you can just keep shipping the balikbayan boxes also. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of people like if you want to get rid of stuff when you're here, like us, we never throw anything, because like Dazzle's relatives, Nene, the older sister, even Makmak, even Miko, the younger brother, uncle in Katiklan, they inherit a lot of stuff that how it is. You got stuff here. We don't have much. Like our old washing machine. Since we got a new washing machine, our old washing machine, it still works, but it's kind of slow. Lost the cover. It's kind of beat up. But they're gonna pick this up. I know a relative of Dazzle's gonna want it because they'll repair it, they'll patch it. They're like, if it's leaking, they'll like seal it. Do what so that they can still use it. Nothing gets thrown away. They're like, oh no, Kuya, don't throw that away. I want that. I want that. Somebody will always want your stuff. Olsen. So if you ship it to the Philippines, you get here and you go, I don't really need this. You will not have a problem finding someone that will take it off your hands. Filipinos, man, they love like anything, especially coming from the U.S. They go, ooh, imported. They love they love any products that come from the U.S. That's like a prime item here in the Philippines. I have to get rid of my expensive mattress that was in storage for the longest time. Wow, must be like like special, special. I know they got that, like where you lay down and you sink kind of in. I'm sure they got all kind. Man, me here, our mattress is what is that called? I'm trying to remember, but it's just a foam. It's just a foam we get at Duratex or Duratex. I think Duratex is the name. It's like I would say the mattress is about 4 inches, maybe 4 inches, 5 inches thick. That's the mattress we just throw it on the bed frame. Those mattresses, our bed, Dazzle and I, that 4 or 5 inch Duratex. It's on a double bed. Costs about 4,000 pesos. Costs about $80 for our mattress. And we, like I said, man, we're low budget, man. We're low budget. Same thing with that, Leanna and Mom's. I don't think theirs is even like their mattress is even thinner, but we're used, it's okay for us, it's not like, I sleep good on it, so that's the main thing, it's like, but I know you have I know you have back issues and all that, so it must be like for your back and all that, HD. But me, I've never had any issues with my back, knees. Never broke any bone in my body, and I'm thankful. I'm blessed that way. It's like I don't have. It's amazing, man. I don't have like I'm 59 years old, and I don't have any aches or pains. I can still walk. I do a lot of walking. I can do push-ups still. I do not have any like aches and pains. I don't have arthritis. It's like I don't even get headaches. I think that my trick, this I believe on my, I don't get headaches. I never take Advil, Tylenol. I don't take it. It's because I'm like so focused on hydrating. I'm like, I overhydrate if anything. I'm always peeing. I'm always, in the military, they teach us, right? HD, like if your pee's not clear, you're not hydrated. So that's stuck in my mind throughout my life. I'm always like hydrating. I'm always drinking coconut water, Pocari Sweat. If I'm not peeing, I'm not drinking enough. That's my thinking. So I'm always hydrating, and just for my reading, the hydration even helps with like people suffering headaches. That I never saw. I don't get headaches. I don't drink Tylenol. I don't drink Advil. I don't drink anything. I don't believe in I don't believe in like the over the count. I don't believe drinking medicine at all. I'm more herbal. I take a lot of the herbal. I don't. It's like especially now. I'm a cancer survivor. I don't want to put anything like that can harm me. Some more. I want all natural now. Everything all natural. Beeline. The roads there scared the crap out of me. Beeline. Hey, you're honest, man. Hey, they scared the crap out of me sometimes too, brother. Me, because I am used to a highly regulated. Yes, right. It's like it's the same thing with me. I lived over 30 years in the United States. So I'm used to like order. I'm used to like. That's why Daz always tells me I'm more American than I'm more Filipino. I'm Filipino because I speak the language. I speak Tagalog. I can understand, but I still struggle even with the culture here. Even though I'm Filipino American, because I get along better with expats than I get along better with Filipino, because like I left the Philippines when I was 12, so I didn't have that as an adult, like understanding how Filipinos think. Even during college, that's where I learned mostly how to, like my classmates in college. Of course, they're like at STI College Calibo. They're Filipinos, and I learned a lot from them. How the dynamic here in the Philippines. In the U.S., nobody borrowed money in the U.S., right? Here in the Philippines, when I was in college, I think all my classmates were borrowing money from me. Kuya, I can't pay my tuition. It's like, and I felt bad because, they were my classmates, and how could I not lend money to a classmate that he can't pay his tuition? He might quit college, and I had the money. So to me, I lost money, of course. Here in the Philippines, that's the worst thing you could do is like lend somebody money here, because you never get your money back. From India. All right, thank you. I'm doing good, sir. Thank you. Another from India. Wow, another from India. Storage is a huge scam. They offer a decent deal to start, but they will allow 6-month lease, if any. Then repeatedly raise your rent. Oh, I can see that. I can see that when that's the At least here you won't get that. I know here I can tell you that here in Aklan province, a lot of times, if you're a good renter here, Daniel, if they know you're a foreigner, you're always on time with your rent, they don't want to lose you, right? It's there's Filipinos here struggle with paying rent. When I was renting an apartment in Calibo, I had neighbors there. My landlord would tell me, man, this one of our your neighbors here hasn't paid me rent in 3-4 months. So like me, my landlord loved me, because I'm like first of the month, I'm like, here's my rent, and I was renting month to month, so I was like, here's my rent at this, my 7,000 pesos, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I was paying $125 a month for my rent, so for me, it's like, man, 125, that was like, I was happy to pay that for rent, and it's a nice building. It's still there, it used to be owned by my friend Larry, but he sold that apartment. Now he lives in Antique. He bought a resort in Antique. Michael C. Hey, Michael, my good friend in Trece Martires, Cavite. Good morning, bro. Happy Friday, for sure. I know Leanne is excited for the weekend. We have that appointment tomorrow at 8 a.m. Leanna's got to take that evaluation test at Kumon at 8 a.m. But after that, we're free for the weekend. So I'll probably treat Leanna after that Kumon. I'll take her to McDonald's or Jollibee. I'm sure she'll be happy if I do that tomorrow with her. Kind of like our brother sister, like bonding, because since Dazzle will still be asleep at 8 a.m. So I'll take Leanna. So tomorrow, more likely, no live stream. No live stream tomorrow because I gotta take Leanna to the Kumon evaluation. It was the same with me, Daniel. Hey, there it is. There's my good buddy Charlie from Boston. From Boston. Don't forget to like. All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Hi, Gino. Greetings from New Jersey. All right, Tito. Tito White Patch. All right, all right. I got friends we got friends from New Jersey that they visited us here actually. In Calibo, we went to the 8 Ball Tavern with them. All right. Radar detectors have been illegal since oh, okay. I just remember I had one. I'm sure they probably outlawed it too in the U.S. by now. But I remember I had a Ford Mustang, and that was the first things I bought was a radar detector. That way I can at least avoid speeding tickets, and it worked. I never got a speeding ticket the whole time I owned that Ford Mustang. I got one ticket for like running a red light, and I tried to argue because it was yellow and I made it in, but they said it was red. So I got a ticket in Arizona for that. I got 2 speeding tickets while I was there. On one of the stops, I told the officer I was being stupid and he let me off. He let me off. All right. He could have easily towed my car and put me in jail at the time, last time. All right. And they always say here you can talk your way out of a ticket here. I've never been stopped. I don't see a lot of like traffic enforcer. Most of the traffic enforcers, like in Calibo, I noticed they target motorbikes. If you're in a car, they don't really stop. Even at checkpoints, when I go through like checkpoints here in Aklan province, I notice they're targeting like motorbikes. They just wave through cars. I guess they figure they see a license plate on the car. They figure you got insurance and you got a driver's license. A lot of times with the motorbikes, a lot of motorbikes here, they just start instituting it, releasing plates. A lot of motorbikes here for the longest time did not have license plates. And then chances are somebody that's riding without a plate on their motorbike probably don't have a license, for sure not have insurance. It's like, which is kind of like, to me, insurance is so cheap. Like for the motorbike, for Bumblebee, my insurance is like, I thought it was like 1,000 pesos. It was actually 800 pesos a year for liability insurance on the motorbike that I paid on this last renewal. So that's like, man, that's like $15 a year on a liability insurance. So, but of course, I understand some Filipinos, would think I can get away with not paying that. I did miles per hour on a Harley. Dang, Daniel, you're a speed demon, Daniel. 100 on a Harley, man. That's fast. That's fast. Once he didn't let me off scot free. I still got the speeding ticket. How are your 2 pups? Still up to their usual hope. They're doing good. Our dogs. It's like Chloe's 11 years old now, and Toto is 9 years old. Yeah. After this live stream, I'll walk them. I walk them twice, like in the morning, usually after the live stream, and then at sunset we walk them. They got a good life, man. Our dogs got a good life. They're spoiled. They're both indoors. Toto initially she was out here in the yard, but one time because of the fireworks, she went inside, and ever since then she don't want to be outside anymore. Speaking of markets, who are all your people so rude at them? So you people, who are all your people so rude at them? Okay. I don't get. All right. I did 147 miles per hour. Oh, Camaro. Oh, on a Camaro. I can see, man. Camaro's fast, man. I ran out of road in Texas. Man, that's almost impossible to do. Also in Texas, I drove through Texas, man. They got like long roads in Texas. When you cross that border from New Mexico, I've driven that all the way like to San Antonio, man. There was like areas there we don't see anything. You don't see anything for the longest time. I ran out of road. All right, I wanted to test the limiter. Now I don't even own a motorcycle anymore. I want to live. Hey, I can't blame you. Can't blame you, Olson. It's like you see me riding on Bumblebee, man. I got the sidecar. I don't think I'll ever own like a single motorbike without a sidecar. I'm just not. I'm not good with single motorbikes. Thankfully told me to slow down. Slow down. Daniel, slow down. Once you get around and higher, the road starts to feel smooth and the ride is also smooth. Yeah, at a certain speed. I remember on my Mustang, once like I got over 100 miles an hour. It does. It feels like you're going slow. It's like you start looking around. It's like it doesn't feel like you're going that fast. Then again, I was still young. You were still young and stupid. I think we were all young and stupid at one time. HD. We've all been there. We've all been there. I used to get that from my first sergeant. I remember my first sergeant. Our first sergeant in the military, in the Air Force, he was kind of like when we live in the dormitory, a lot of us young airmen at the time, a lot of us like 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Of course, we were young and dumb, stupid. We're basically stupid. Our first sergeant was kind of like our dad. Our first sergeant was like, he would like come into the dorms, do inspections in our room, make sure we're not trashing. We had inspections. We sometimes white glove. Sometimes our first sergeant would do a white glove. So we're always cleaning our dormitory room. We're paired. We have a roommate in our dormitory, and we always have to keep everything tidy, everything clean. You can't just remove your uniform, throw it everywhere. Laundry, you can't do that. Not when my time in the Air Force, anyway. When I lived in the dormitory as an airman. And like I said, our first sergeant was like our dad. Basically, he would like, and I've had some good first sergeant. And I remember my first one lived, because it was my first time living away from home. I was 17 years old. I lived in the dormitory. My roommate Kenny was the same. He was 18 years old. It just happened that we're both from California, Southern California. He was from Lake Elsinore and I was from Long Beach. So it was like kind of cool that we were like, hey, man, we're both local and we're stationed in California. But our first sergeant, man, he was our dad. We looked up to him. It's like he would talk to us. I mean, he was strict. Don't get me wrong. Our first sergeant would give us extra duty if you screw up. If he catches you doing, your room's not clean. We had bay orderly, where bay orderly you're supposed to clean the bathrooms, mow the yard, do. And if you mess up, he's not happy with your job, he'll give you extra duty. But he kept us in line. I think Olson, knows about first sergeant. Olson, you know about first sergeants, man. They keep us in line. Help me become an adult. It's like I said, I joined the military when I was 17. So I was just a young kid when I joined the military at 17. I learned. Not quickly. It took time, because when you're 17, you think you know everything. But slowly, slowly became an adult. Thanks to like first sergeant. Thanks to my first sergeant. He was always like making sure, keeping us safe too. We always had like a safety briefing. He always like on a Friday, he would always talk to us all like young airmen, and he was telling, okay, don't drink too much this weekend, kind of thing. Our first sergeant would do that. Let me just plug this in on my I'm running low bat on my phone, so I have to on my power bank. I got this power bank that so I'm just adjusting here. All right. That way I don't lose you guys. I don't lose you guys. That was faster than I got. I was something that I wanted to test out since the road was so empty and straight. Yeah, yeah. Like when you're long driving, that's how it is, all right? HD. Like when I had my Mustang, even in Arizona, when I would drive Arizona, like if I was going like to say Las Vegas, forget the highway, going to Phoenix and then to Williams, you curve into like headed towards Vegas, that dam, Hoover Dam. There's pockets there where there's a stretch of roads where like, man, there's no cars, so you can fly on your vehicle. Instead, in Germany, I got to 100 miles. Ooh, on a Camry. Wow, Daniel. I know Germans. I know they're like good drivers. I know they take driving seriously in Germany. The Autobahn. I heard about the Autobahn in Germany. Yes, LOL. I did a lot of dumb stuff as a young airman. I think we all did, like Olson, right? That's why, that's why I mentioned the first sergeant, because usually after the weekend, there's always somebody that lived in the dorm that had to see the first sergeant, First thing Monday morning, first sergeant will be like, first thing Monday morning, you need to report in my office in full service dress uniform. So you screwed up. Right, Olson? And the dorms, our dorms was so tiny, and we all knew everybody. So the minute, like, when you're going to work on a Monday morning and you see somebody wearing full service dress, when it's full service dress, it's kind of like you wear the tie, the long sleeve, the jacket, then the bus driver hat. It's like, you're like, when you see somebody walking out the dormitory wearing that, oh, somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble. That was always the thing in the dormitory. I may go through, just it. Been to the Ottoman. Then once my screaming eagle to 110, I felt it was going to fly. It was going to, hey, Belouz, my good friend in Wyoming. All right, good. Hello, Belouz. Good to see you on the live stream. Good morning from God's country. I know, right, man? You're so blessed. Belouz. It's like, love the pictures that you keep sharing. Trout, you haven't had trout in a long time. It's like, me too. It's the last time I ate trout was in Arizona. Went fishing out Mount Lemmon, one of the lakes at Mount Lemmon. They populated with trout, and that was the last time I ate trout. I don't think they have trout here in the Philippines. I don't think they have trout here in the Philippines, man. So I know the taste. I remember the taste of trout. Kind of oily, like the trout is like slippery and oily, is what I remember. I remember eating trout. Have a great day. All right. God bless, Belouz. God bless. Once I finished work in my storage and drive home, my truck was 103. Wow, that's hot. Well, I'm sure you got hope you got AC, Daniel. Hope you got AC in your truck. I took only cold water. Hey, man, you're getting ready. You're getting ready for the Philippines. Cold water shower. Small tree with leaves is cheaper than a warning device. I know, right? HD, man. I see that. Man, I see that all the time on the highway here. Somebody broken down, tricycle, anything broken down. You'll see like a branch and a leaves, as their early warning device. Agree, construction traffic way worse than the drugs. I pass on the right, Ginno, when the person is going slower on the passing lane. Oh, okay, slower. Oh, okay, all right. I see. Like on the highway, like if somebody's like sitting on the fast lane, you can pass on the right. Yeah. Me, I've just always been taught. I thought, like in the U.S., like when you're driving, you're always supposed to if you're gonna pass, supposed to always pass. You know, that's my thinking. But I haven't driven in the U.S. in 14 years, so here, you know, it's like forget about rules on the road here. Like I said, they pass on the left, they pass on the right, they come out of nowhere. You know, it's like you'll be on the highway here, HD, going like me, 60 kph, and all of a sudden there's like a tricycle going this way on you. You know, make a hook in front of you, block you, and go like 10 kilometers an hour. You're going like, what the heck was that? Yeah, what the heck was that? But I almost anticipate it. When I get to an intersection, I always anticipate somebody like cutting in front of me. Because a lot of the motorbikes and a lot of the tricycles, they like to do that. They like, sometimes they inch their way on the highway. They're kind of inching. You can see them far, you know, if you're driving. They're inching. You're kind of like, I'm trying to slow down. And what's funny is when I slow down, is they stop. But if you're going fast, they'll try to beat you to the spot. So I've just learned to, like, if I see people inching their way, instead of waiting full stop, both sides clear to make like a left, they'll like inch their way, slowly blocking the highway. So I've just learned when I see that, I just slow down. And a lot of times, because I'm slowing down, they'll stop. It kind of freaks them out, I guess, because it's like, ooh, this guy, like, you know, many times I give, you know, I always stop or give them way. I say, go ahead. And they don't want to go. It's like they don't want to go. You know, when you're giving them the way, they don't want to go. But if you don't give them the way, try to beat them on the spot, they'll like block you. You know, it's like, it's just amazing how the road etiquette here sometimes is. But never bothers me, man, because like I've been driving here for so long now, never been in an accident. I'm always careful, you know, knock on wood. I don't want to get in an accident now, but doesn't know. And you'll have to judge accordingly whether or not you follow strict. Yeah, here, you know, it's like I'm just patient when I drive. I take my time. I let everybody in. If somebody wants to cut in front of me, somebody, you know, like I said, when I go to a four-way intersection, because normally four-way intersection here, there's no lights, there's no stop sign. It's kind of like, you're kind of like going slowly, like, okay, who's going? You know, so I'm always like, if I see somebody going a little faster than me, I'll say, oh, go ahead. I'll like wave them in. You know, it's like, I'm never in a hurry when I drive. Tanduay is rocket fuel. Yeah, I know, right? D-line Tanduay. Here in our province, people here, they call that duway. Time for duway. Tanduay Ram. We have a lot of good drivers in the US, but in the last 12 years, getting a lot more bad drivers each year. I take mental notes of the type of cars that might have bad drivers. The Prius drivers are pretty bad. And the cars with the lift. Okay, the lift, like grab, like the, you know, that. I'm also starting to get more bad Tesla drivers on the road. I have never seen a Tesla. I've never seen a Tesla live, you know. I've not seen one here in the Philippines. I've not seen, even in Iloilo City, I've not seen a Tesla. OB adventures. Road rage is the norm now, too, unfortunately. Just the other day, I was going 63 on 60 here in Sacramento. Like 30 seconds just past another car. But a car came from behind me and slammed its brakes. Wow. Yeah. I hear that. I mean, they get road rage here too. I've seen it on videos here. I haven't seen it happen here in Aklan province. You know, you would go viral here if you do something crazy or if you do some kind of road rage here. People are fast to like post that stuff on Facebook here. But I have seen like road rage. Like there was, I think, a vlogger one time like on a motorcycle, something like that. But you see it on Facebook and on YouTube. I used to be fluent in speaking Ilonggo, but I can. All right. You know, Dazzle's fluent in Ilonggo, Ray. So you guys, when Vincent was here, you know, when he was vacationing here, him and Dazzle, when we went to Boracay with him, they were speaking that. I can pick up words in Ilonggo, yeah, because I've been here long enough. The different dialects, when I hear it, I can piece together like what they're talking about. Good morning, good evening, Ginno. All right, Mom Janet, hello, hello. Moderators in chat, all right. Good evening, good morning. Good to see you, good to see you. I also observe how the car behaves and determine if the driver in front of me have control of their vehicle. One day, my mom was with me and I told her that the car in front might hit the curb on turn. Ah, okay. I anticipate. Like when I'm on the road, HD here on the main highway, and I see a tricycle on the right ahead of me. I always like kind of, I never go past it fast. I'm always expecting it to like cut in front of me. And then a lot of the tricycles, there's a line, but they have a tendency of like moving in the line or driving on the line. So I anticipate, you know, I've been driving long enough, I guess, and I'm anticipating like a bad behavior, bad behavior of other drivers. I just want to be safe, man. I just want to be like make it from point A to point B. So I'm not trying to race anybody. I'm not trying to like, I'm just trying to like, get to point A to point B. Safest way possible. I'm especially when I have passengers. It's like I'm extra careful when I drive. Thank you for passing through. All right, all right. Have a good evening. Have a good evening, Mom Janet. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, there's Chloe. Chloe's out. She's awake. She's awake. Chloe's awake. She's barking. She must want to go outside. Chloe. Oh, she wants to go in. She was out already. I didn't even notice that she went up. About 10 seconds, the car hits. Oh, wow. Wow, HD. Yeah, it's like... you're very observant, HD. The illegals driving here is a huge issue. No license, no insurance. Some cops are even hiring. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Daniel. I thought, in the U.S. they're just strict. You got to have all the documents to drive, man. As post-surgery patient, heart disease makes you constantly hydrate as well. I can tell when I'm dehydrated. Yeah, I'm like, I think you noticed that. I'm always like drinking. I'm always like hydration. I've always, I guess from my military days and then even when I used to cycle, when I used to like ride road bikes in Arizona. Arizona's hot. I'm on my bicycle 4 or 5 hours. I've always had like hydration. I had gels, I've always like paid attention to hydration and dehydration. I think military too. I remember in the military they used to make us like finish our canteen. You had to like drink your water in your canteen and like do one of this to show the instructor or whoever that you're drinking enough. Ginno, don't forget that you can overhydrate, which is worse than the. I've never had an issue with overhydration. I've never had that issue, HD. That will end you. I've never, I guess I never had an issue with overhydration because I'm not ending. I'm not ending. But I take sips all day because of my dry mouth now. I have dry mouth, so that's one of the side effects of radiation for me. So I'm always constantly, I have to take sips because I can't produce saliva anymore. So I always have dry mouth, one of the many side effects of chemotherapy and radiation for me. I have heard of water intoxication. I've heard that. I know they've had issue with that, like with trainees, like military recruits that overhydrate. Because they make you finish the canteen. I've heard that. But haven't been an issue with me. So if anything, I know when I'm getting dehydrated when I'm not going to the bathroom peeing. That's like a sign for me. It's like I have to always go to pee, so no, and then clear, when you're peeing, I'm looking for how clear my pee is. If it's yellow, I'm not drinking enough. HDS, true C, uses cellular malfunction like drowning components of cell structure. Each component has specific function. It's the best to not overhydrate. Water is enough. All right. Ginno, we have withdraws without seeing. I definitely plan on getting dash cam there. Yeah, I mean, I had it one time. I've had like 2 dash cams, but they broke unfortunately. I have to get a good one. I guess. The ones I got, I think were made in China. Not that it matters, I guess. I mean, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Seems like whoever has the money is at fault in the Philippines. Yeah. That's a lot of times it's because you that like a lot of times whoever gets damaged or whatever, you just want you don't want the hassle of the police station. A lot of times you just like arreglo is what they call it here, like a kind of like you come to an agreement. That way there's no especially if you like hurt somebody. It's like a lot of times if you like, even if a motorbike slammed into your car, the guy gets hurt, chances are, because I have insurance, instead of going through the hassle, a lot of times you'll just say, okay, I'll take care of your hospital bill. I'll give you this amount of money, that way, no issue, no issue. Cops prefer it that way because it's less paperwork for the cops, instead of filing the report and then, have to figure out whose fault and all that. A lot of times the cops here will prefer you arrange it with whoever was involved in the accident. You guys figure it out, who's at fault or make a deal. It's best for medicals that are high risk to consult your doctor. I use a dietitian. Yes, good. Mom Janet. I got a ticket in Manila for turning the wrong way because of my license. It's Clark Air Base are turning the wrong way because of my license. You got your license for Clark. Okay, all right. OB, I was an interim. Oh, wow, Olsen, you're interim first sergeant. All the time when our shirt went on leave, it was very easy for me because I was the mental health. All right. I didn't know, OB, I didn't know you're a mental health flight chief, so I've had, part of the hospital. So, I've had good friends of mine in the mental health field in the military. Mina, DC, it's like... Debbie, so I got a few friends in your career field, man. I knew everyone's case. You knew everybody's case. That's right, man. You knew who was in the like alcohol rehab program. That's how I got E7. All right. I was didn't flinch dealing with suicide. Oh yeah, man. It's like unfortunately, we have that. I remember that. New family advocacy, family. Man, I know your career field. I know your career field really well, OB, because at one time in my career, I worked in Brooks Air Force Base. My program was called Enhanced Flight Screening. I got to screen all the. I was the project manager actually. I ran the program. I was the NCOIC, NCO in charge, non-commissioned officer in charge of the enhanced flight screening at one time during my career. And what the enhanced flight screening was all the people that went through pilot training in the Air Force, all the cadets at Colorado Springs, they had to go to flight screening. And part of the flight screening was mental health. So I worked with a mental health tech. Ophthalmology was the other one. There was an issue at one time. People were getting LASIK surgery because for pilots, their own pilots have to have like perfect vision, and they would cheat. They would sometimes get LASIK, and that don't count because like the ophthalmologist, they can tell whether you got at the time PRK surgery in your eyes or LASIK. They can tell because corneal topography. They do the corneal topography on your eyes, so they can't trick us. Because the military, the Air Force, before they put you on before they put you on to become to pilot school, they got to make sure there's no defect, like mental defect, eye defect, heart defect. I mean, they put them in the centrifuge, make sure that they can take all that G-force, that they're going to need before they go to like pilot school. The Air Force is investing a lot of money, so that's why I know. I worked with a mental health technician before. You understood. Yeah, you have that part. You would have been a great full-time first sergeant because you had that. You had that knowledge, man, regarding mental health. Because man, I don't gotta tell you, Olson. Some of the airmen, some of the airmen in the dorms, drink too much. Like. Good night, ma'am. All right. Good night, Mom Janet. Ray, I was a first sergeant. Oh, wow. Well, Ray also was a first sergeant at Clark. All right. I took good care of my troops and got along with them. Airmen get into trouble easily when they get drunk and disorderly in the black market, right? At Clark, it's like, man, it was that would have been a hard job, I think, man, Ray, first sergeant at Clark, because, airmen go crazy when at Clark, they go bar hopping at Clark and drink too much. And, drinking, bar hopping, usually drunk and disorderly is like, it equates to being drunk and disorderly. Love working on the 810 Warthogs. I remember that, the Warthogs, and like the Gatling gun in the front, man. The Gatling gun in the front. My first 7 years of my career, the planes never complained. Never complained. No complaints from the plane. The medical field was something else. Had to be way. Oh, all right. So you cross-trained. All right. Also, I got it, man. You work with the Warthogs and then you cross. We did get a lot of cross training. A lot of cross trainees. We got a lot of in the hospital. A lot, because you guys' jobs were hard. So I'm sure that's why you wanted to cross train. We got a lot of crew chiefs, and a lot of security police. Those were the two career fields where a lot of them would cross train and cross over to the medical field. I remember. And we can't blame, and a lot of them, I remember the security police and the crew chiefs, when they cross-train into the medical field, they're like, when I meet them at the hospital, man, I'm so happy I got to cross-train into the hospital. They're so happy that they got out of their career field and moved over to the hospital, because out of all, I mean, also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think out of all the Air Force career fields, I think out of all of them, right? I think medical, we're kind of like the softies, we're kind of like the easiest. I mean, not only did I get the Air Force, we're out of all the branches of the military, the Air Force, we're called the chair force. We got the best dining halls. We get the best dorms. We got it easiest out of all the, better than the easiest. When I say easiest, they're easy on us. They're not hard on us. We're soft. We're soft in the Air Force. And then out of all of the career fields in the Air Force, hospital, we're kind of the softest, with all the, because like a lot of times in the Air Force, the reason I say we're the softest is like, SPs, man, security police, those guys are pretty gung-ho, man. They're pretty gung-ho about military security police, they got guns, they're patrol cars, they're like, they're aggressive, they're protecting million dollar airplanes all the time, they don't play around. The SP security police don't play around. And then crew chiefs, man, are hard working. They're like out in the heat, out in the cold. I mean, these guys are like, they're like marshalling planes in the snow, in the blizzard, whatever. They're wearing parkas. And they're, marshalling planes. And here we are, we're in the hospital. You're in the hospital, we're always air conditioned. We're always heated in the hospital. We had nice chairs, it's like, so I had it easy, I had it pretty easy in the military. And still did not use my AC in my truck. Wow, Daniel, you didn't use your AC. Huh? Man, you are really acclimating. You are preparing yourself for the Philippines. 103 and didn't use the AC. Windows down. Man, that's Philippines right there, brother. Love the A10 OB. Too bad they are being. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't. I know they're being deactivated. I just like the warthog because the sound, right? Ray, OB, like, something. You know it's coming. You know the warthog's coming with that sound. Like, they got that spinning gun in the front, man. It's so cool. So cool, man. Yes, the Army has been bugging the Air Force to take it. They love that gun sound of freedom. Yeah, right? I used to get flack from Army folks, but I just tell them I work on A10s and instant respect. All right, all right. Man, I can never get respect. Also, when people find out I was in the Air Force and I was in the medical field, then they go, man, you're soft. You're soft. It's like, shame works wonders on people's behavior. The A10s were supposed to be retired after 3K operating hours and worked on a bunch with the 15K. Oh, yeah. I just remember them because I know that the A10 Warthog is like slow flying plane maneuvers, pretty good. And then, it's known for that, like a Gatling gun, like a, machine gun in the front. This is like firing a lot of, it makes a sound. It's a warthog when it's that. And I saw that at Davis Monthan in Arizona, and then when I was in Korea, that was our planes at Suwon Air Base. When I was stationed at Suwon Air Base, we had the warthog. They're cool looking plane, man. I love the warthogs. It's a warthog because of the shape too. It's got that wing, kind of like it's a unique plane. When the entire small, tight-knit community shames you while you live in that community, you'd want to be on your best behavior. Being ostracized in a community would me. Oh, yeah. I could see that. At least here, in the community here, we've never had issues like that, HD. People are just kind here, good people. It's like, that's one thing I love about Aklan province. It's like people here just are kind, humble. People share stuff here. It's like my neighbor, if they cook langkuga, langkuga is ginitaan, that the bilo-bilo ginataan. They'll bring us a Tupperware. Same thing with us. If we have something that extra, we share with our neighbors. It's common here. We always get people bring us here. They harvested like plantain bananas at their farm. They'll bring us like a thing of plantain bananas. Stuff like that happens still here in our community in the province. That's still it's like that dynamic. I don't think we'll ever lose that in the province. And I like that. I like how people share here. Said hi, OB. Bina, just the airman, Ginno. The officers were just as bad. It bugged me when the airman would get a LOR and the officer would get a verbal. Yeah. They're officers. They're officers, man. Officers, we get the brunt, enlisted people in the military. We get the work, we get the punishment, we got everything. Officers, especially the hospital, if you can imagine, and Olsen, your mental health, our officers in the hospital, they're doctors, they're nurses, so they're not gonna get punished. They're not gonna get punished like us airmen. They built the plane. Oh, I believe that. I believe. Well, like cool gun, man. That's a cool gun. I've seen it close up when I was at Suwon Air Base. I was on the ambulance. Every time the planes when they land on the flight line, there's always an ambulance crew on standby. And one time I was driving the ambulance, and I got to see that. They let me like get near it. See that the Gatling gun. I didn't know it's 30 million, man. Oof, man. I believe it though, man, because it's impressive. It's impressive. Okay, Ginno, stop reminding us. Did you have the fist food? My bad, Dan. I didn't want to rub it in. I'm not rubbing it in, Daniel. I know I get I get like teased all the time. Man, you cheer for us, you guys, man. The best I get, best condos. I know, boo-hoo. All right, Daniel. All right. I won't rub it in. I won't rub it in, Daniel. Ray, all right, Ray. Good morning. All right, Ray. I subscribed to your channel, Ray. It's like I've been watching a few of your videos, even your live streams. I didn't realize you were here in the Philippines before, but now I know you're here in the Philippines, and then you're also vlogging. Good luck, good luck with your YouTube channel, Ray. Worst here sounds like the Philippines. Yes, we're in the Philippines. We're in the Philippines. This is Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Hey, Gino, the A10 was at Suwan when you were assigned there. Yes, those were we had the A10s and we had the F16s also at Suwan. Those were the two planes that we had at Suwan. Good night, Gino. All right, good night, Ovi. Thank you for moderating, being on the live stream. Appreciate you. Thank you for sharing the story. And now I know that you're a mental health tech. Man, I didn't know you had cross trained. We got something more in common. We're like hospital airmen. Have a great weekend. All right, have a great weekend, everyone. Want to send your leadership spiral out of control when you get in trouble? Tell. My behavior is a reflection of the leader above me. Man. I'm blessed enough. HD. I was like a straight arrow. I never got in trouble. It's like I kept a low profile. It's like I was just happy I was in the military. I always like followed directions. I didn't rock the boat. It's like I guess that's why I had a nice, good career in the military. I made it to E7. I was a master sergeant when I retired. Never got into trouble. Never had any issues. Same thing, probably like you see me on YouTube. I'm a get along person. It's like I don't get offended. It's like if I get offended, I just keep it to myself. I don't retaliate. It's like I just like keeping the peace. I just like keeping the peace. It's like. I don't, especially now, it's like I don't take a lot of things too serious. It's like even with the trolls, even with the comments, I just like, it just, like one ear, one out. I don't like. You'll notice like on my comments on the live stream, I never fire back at people because to me it's like unnecessary. It's like you can fire at me, you can like tell me bad things about me. I'm doing it, whatever. I can take it. It's like there's nothing I can't take. I mean, I'm retired United States Air Force, man. I tolerated like verbal abuse for 20 years. Getting yelled at, getting talked down to. Right? I mean, military, we can take that. So to me, this YouTube thing is easy. Thanks, brother. I'm still getting started. I know others. Good luck though, Ray. Keep at it. Keep at it. I know sometimes it's slow going. It's like Ayo John is the same. I encourage Ayo John, tell him, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, like Ray, if you're enjoying vlogging, it's like keep at it. Don't get frustrated with that. I wouldn't even worry about the views, the subscriptions. To me, it's like when I did YouTube, I wasn't really too pressured about that. I would say the first year, Daz and I, of course, we're trying to get monetized. We're trying to get views and subscribers. But, I realized after that, when we finally got monetized, it's really not a big deal. As long as you're having fun, doing it, the vlogging, YouTube, for me, it's not about the money. It's not like we're making a lot of money from YouTube. For me, it's more like the friendships that I've developed with people I meet, and then people that I've helped, when they come here. I like that. I like being able to help people. Paalam kaibigan, paalam kaibigan. Maraming salamat, kapatid, for joining the live stream. Thank you so much, Ray. You can be a taster for the cooking. All right, hey man. I'm a foodie, man. I love food, man. Would love to taste any food, man. Take care, Ginno. All right, everybody have a good weekend. You know, a good TGIF tomorrow for many people. Have a good weekend, everyone. No live stream tomorrow because I'm taking Leanna to her Kumon evaluation tomorrow at 8 in the morning. My oldest brother was retired sergeant in the Air Force. Wow, all right, Mom Jan. See, we got commonality. We got a lot of things common. Retired Air Force, and it's like to me, it's like if you can manage the military for 20 years, same with you, Mom Jan, being the police force that many years, salute, right? Salute, that's all I can say. Salute, just because serving other people for that long, it's like. Take care, take care. Ray, all right, Jace, I'm just trying to make information to help people. Yeah, yeah. As long as you're having fun, keep at it. Keep at it. I'm rooting for you, Ray. I'm rooting for you. Family, military, or medical. All right, Mom Janet. All right, take care, everyone. Being retired, we don't look forward. No more hump day. No more TGIF when you're retired. All right, Ray. All right, take care, everyone. Everybody, take care.